I think that we'd characterize the growth rate for Ontario over the next couple of years as softer, but not necessarily a bad story. This is, we're already look like we're in a pretty good spot, so if we stay there, that's not the worst thing that can happen.
Good morning. My name is Tom. By the way, I'm now from the media. I come from the Frontlander Commercial Mortgage Brokers. So first one, thank you for very insightful information. And my first question is, we've heard different voices on the market right now, right? Some foreign tech, think tank, still think about Canadian housing market is still, still in their, I think it's reshaping right now. I use the word. And but at the same time, domestically, I think a lot of I see the news, even some economics from different from the bank or maybe from other think tank. They still think, Canadian market is very strong, it's very healthy, and so I just want to know, do you, for the one of the largest banks in Canada, do you guys have I'm just curious. Do you guys have an internal stress test? See what's exactly going on. I mean, from since over the past years, the tech mortgage rules impacting impact on the market. Do you have a real view on the Canadian market? I just want to hear some true story because I don't want to see the news media. And at the same time, the other concern is I believe any bank for the bank like RBC. Probably already done internal like a sensitivity analysis, like a stress test, see the future and future if the interest rate hike up by, let's say, by a quarter, and how much household they may potentially have a likelihood losing the mortgage. I mean, I'm talking about the delinquency rate.
Yeah, and that's something that. So yes, we stress test our books, and it's not even entirely a private exercise. So one of the things we've had an explosion in this kind of regulatory oversight and stress testing since the 2008-09 financial crisis, and it was all designed to increase the stability of the banking sector. And even though Canada's banking sector kind of did okay in 08-09. We've also seen a big increase in the amount of regulatory work in terms of stress testing. So we do OSFI in Canada mandates stress testing, like what would happen how would happen to profitability, capital ratios, all the rest if you were to have a severe recession. Also in the U.S. Fed requires it as part of the CCAR exercise. So it happens on a regular basis, and I don't know what our book ends up looking like. All I know is that we pass the stress tests. And then they're pretty severe. So I mean, I think the idea is all of those measures are meant to test how well will the banking sector survive if we have an unexpected serious shock. And my understanding is that in all of those stress testing scenarios, the Canadian banking sector kind of does okay.
Sorry, I just take a little. Interestingly, I think early this year, first quarter, I read some some bank financial statement, basically some public information. I see some bank already put aside money for the reserve, sort of a reserve to for some bad loans in terms of the consumer, first of all, mortgage. So I see the concern, but it's just no someone probably publicly talking about that, why the bank put aside some money, and to maybe in my opinion, maybe they prepare, they see the concern. That means indicating some concern going on, something going on in the market, because this is my personal opinion. If the bank likely, I think if as you mentioned in the PPTs. The bank probably in the end still hike up the rate. Yes. So once they hike up the rate, I think they're going to, of course, increase the likely the delinquencies for the mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't speak directly to RBC's book because I'm in the economics department, not on the finance side. But I think what you're seeing partly from the banks is also, it's this, and I think it's part of public disclosures, even at RBC, is that, and it's kind of like I've been saying, we don't see something out there that's going to cause a recession, but we're cognizant that we're probably top of cycle. So the next thing, the next surprise is more likely to be on the downside rather than the upside. And with new accounting regulations, IFRS 9 accounting regulations that came in, I guess, a couple of years ago, they do require banks to take that kind of that kind of thought process into account when they set their expectations for credit losses. So they can go up without seeing something going wrong with your book, or without seeing any particular risk out there that's going to sink the economy. It can just be we're a mature point in the economic cycle, and it's more prudent to realize that the next shock is more likely to be on the downside than the upside.
Okay, thank you very much.
Marian Benson. I wanted you to comment on the effect of demographics on the future of the economy here, specifically the high level of immigration and also the number of refugees. I assume this is kind of tailoring to some of that.
Yeah, and it's huge. So I talked about the retirement rates being a drag on labor force growth, and so Canadian employment was up, I think it was 426,000 people over the last year as of the last month, when we expected kind of the run rate of growth in the labor force to be less than half of that. So I think it's fair to say that we've seen a pretty substantial offset to population aging, at least over the last year or two, from higher immigration rates and refugees coming in, wherever it is, labor supply coming from abroad rather than from Canada. So it's pretty, and then the data we have also doesn't suggest that there's been a lot of difficulty in absorbing those workers. So we've had an inflow, and yet the unemployment rate is still extremely low. And we do on a regular basis look into what are we missing in the unemployment rate. Are there a large number of people that are just discouraged, given up their job search, and are no longer being counted as unemployed? And there's little evidence that anything like that is happening in Canada. So we've just gotten a boost to labor supply, and it looks like in large part it's just been absorbed. So it's been a good asset.
Yes, I'm Jeff, Senior Account Manager at RBC. Appreciate your insight regarding the framework, that explores both sides. You mentioned that the tariff will be paid by the U.S. importer or eventually by the consumer, but President Trump emphasized continuously is paid by the Chinese export or Chinese government. Apparently, there's a saying because the Chinese exporter has to reduce the price to keep the product competitive in the market. Yeah, what's your view?
I think it's not even entirely my view. It's just the data is the U.S. tracks import prices, and import prices haven't fallen all that much, and that's even excluding tariff impacts. So I think all of the data that we have to date would say that it hasn't been foreigners, like Chinese businesses, cutting prices and effectively paying the tariff cost. It's been the bulk of that tariff cost has been borne by U.S. industry, to a lesser extent the U.S. consumer. The other issue, if they're currently talking about expanding that list of tariffs to another $300 billion worth of imports from China, from the U.S., that number one is going to hit consumers more than the industrial sector, or more than it has. And two, you're getting into products where 70% of a lot of those products are imported from China, and it's just impossible to find another source of those products in the short run. So again, it's producers and consumers having to pay more.